Hi, this is Bill Wetzel from the SurfRatsBall.com, and this is Tip of the Week. So, believe it or not, I do use a lot of shad bodies. People are like, you use shad bodies? I'm like, yeah, I use anything that works. I don't really have a favorite plug or a favorite lure. Well, maybe the darter, but I do use a lot of shad bodies. This is a 3-ounce Tsunami. It's got a really beefy hook on it, and this is great for either really big water or if you want to fish like inlets, like if you're fishing Moriches Inlet or wherever where you got deep, fast water bridges where you got to go down pretty deep. This is a great plug. And look at it, it's a great imitation of a lot of different baits. Peanut bunker, you know, mullet, snappers, great imitation. So when I'm in the back bays, I'll go with something smaller. This is the old Wild Eyes. I'm not even sure what they make in the Wild Eyes anymore. This is probably an older version. And the 6-inch Wild Eyes are great. Like, we're on the south shore of Long Island right now. We got a lot of back bays, and we have grass lines. And on the grass line, you have like 15 feet of water. And the grass lines go out and they hang over this water. So the bass a lot of times are underneath the grass lines, and you gotta put your bait right along the grass line. And these are great for that. I love the 6-inch Wild Eyes for that. So as opposed to the Tsunamis are a little bit heavier and they sink faster. The Wild Eyes are lighter. So I'll cast it out, I'll get contact with it real quick, and I'll just let it sink just far enough where I think the fish is right along that grass line. It's a killer bait, man. I mean, if you throw another plug, say like a darter or something, it's not going to get down deep enough. Needlefish will snag up on the grass. This only has one hook. Poppers are good, but poppers are on the top, you know. You want it really getting down and deep. These are just perfect for that situation. And a lot of times, when the bass are really picky, this is all they'll hit. You know, you throw out a bucktail. When they're not hitting a bucktail, you throw out a shad. I was fishing with Willie Young once. We're fishing Shagwan, and he's catching fish on shad bodies, and I'm like, and I'm not catching anything. I'm like, Willie, what are you doing? He's like, I'm cheating. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm using a shad body. So sometimes you got to cheat a little. Use a shad body. When I'm fishing Montauk, there's shallower areas. Montauk is very shallow. It also has some deeper areas. So if I'm in the shallow area, say like False Bar, for example, and False Bar is really, if you walk all the way out, you're probably casting in maybe 6 feet of water max. In that situation, I'm going to use a Wild Eye as opposed to a Tsunami, just because it's a lighter, it's a lighter shad body, and it's not going to sink as fast. A Tsunami is going to sink, and I'm going to have to burn it faster. The heavier it is, the faster you got to go to keep it on top of the water. So I want to go a little bit slower, I use the Wild Eye. If I'm in deeper water, like say I'm in a big cove, say maybe like, if you guys are familiar with Montauk, the sewer pipe, there's deep water in there. You walk out on the rocks, you throw into that deep water, you might want to use a Tsunami. In the bigger water, you might want to use a 3-ounce Tsunami, you know. But in the bigger water, usually I'm shying away from the shad, kind of. I'm going through to a bucktail, maybe 2, rarely a 3-ounce bucktail in the bigger water. Just because this kind of gets tossed around in big waves and stuff. It goes on its side, it's not as good of a profile, it doesn't hold as well. You know, it's actually a bigger profile, and it gets bunched around by the waves more. Plus, it doesn't cast as well as a bucktail. So, you know, conditions. I remember one time on my site, the Surf Rats Ball, a guy said, "Oh, why even use bucktails anymore? I'm never going to use a bucktail again." Everything has a place, man. You know, shad bodies have a place, bucktails have a place, darters have a place. You know, bombers have a place as opposed to SP minnows. So everything has a place. There's no lure that's going to do it all. I mean, that's the bottom line.